Why are you destroying the great religious leaders and ideologies of the world?
I am not in favor of destroying anything at all. My whole approach is creative. But creation involves destruction. That is not my problem. Creation itself is not possible without destroying something. The moment you create something, you are simultaneously destroying something else. But when destruction is on the way towards creation, you need not be worried about it. It is not destructive, it is creative. Let me repeat, it is creative destruction. There is a possibility in the same way of destructive creation. What are nuclear weapons? Certainly a tremendous act of creation. But for what? Where it is going to lead? What is going to be the outcome? Nothing but pure destruction. So this is creation leading towards destruction. Only fools will call it creativity. And only fools can call my action destructive. So that is the first thing to be understood. It is not creation in itself or destruction in itself which is significant. What is significant? To what it leads. To what it is a seed. What is going to be the outcome? On the surface, it may look destructive. When the child is born out of the mother's womb, as far as the womb is concerned, the child is dying. Because the womb has no way of knowing that the child is being born. The child was there for 9 months, inhabited the world of the womb. The womb was no more empty, it was full of life. And today comes a sad moment. The life that was filling the womb is disappearing, going somewhere which is inconceivable. is simply evaporating. For the womb, it is a death. And if you can understand the psychology of the child who is being born, to him also it appears like a death. Because the child has lived a certain kind of life for all those 9 months. Scientists say perhaps never again he will live so pleasantly. No possibility of ever being more comfortable. No possibility of ever being without any worry, work, responsibility, duty. He lived in tremendous tranquility, silence, without being in any way influenced, impressed, forced, directed. He was free and alone and sufficient, not in any need of the other. And there was not a single thing that was missing. Everything that was needed was provided by the mother's body automatically. You cannot conceive a better period of 9 months in the coming 70 years life, when life will be so pleasant, so sufficient unto itself, so without worry, responsibility, so without fear, so without tomorrows, yesterdays, too free from the crowd, and you will always feel, even though you are crowded every moment of your life, you are missing the other. In the very crowd you are lonely. And in the mother's womb, in the very loneliness, you were simply alone. There was no question of the other. The other has not even arisen in your mind. So the child also feels that it is going to be a death. Certainly the death of the life that he has known. As far as the life that is going to come, he has no idea of it, no information. Nobody ever told about it. All that he knows, he is not going to be what he was. Perhaps he is not going to be at all. Without mother's womb, he cannot conceive himself in any way. He is in a shock. Perhaps the greatest shock of life. Even death is not that great a shock. Because while the child is coming out of the womb. Up to now he had even been breathing through the mother. He had not taken even the trouble to breathe on his own. And he is being thrown into an unknown world where so helpless. He knows nobody, no address, no letter of introduction. He does not know even who he is and where he is going. The shock is tremendous. Naturally, he feels he is dying. That's why the child clings to the mother's womb. That is one of the causes why the mother goes through so much pain and the child goes through so much pain. The child tries to cling to the life that he has lived. That's the only life he knows. So you cannot complain against him. And unconsciously, the mother has also lived a totally different life for these 9 months. She was a different woman before. Now she is no more the same. Those 9 months of motherhood have changed everything in his life, in her life. For 9 months she has felt pregnant, full of some life, a great excitement, a preparation, a hope, a dream to be fulfilled. She is coming to fruition, just like a tree when it comes to fruition. There is joy. All over the mother's being, there is a joy. Otherwise, she was empty. Something was missing. She was a tree, but without any flowers, without any fruits. What kind of a tree that was? But these 9 months, howsoever troublesome, howsoever painful, but immensely paying. She will never be the same again. And now the child is leaving the womb. It is a very unconscious phenomenon. The mother unconsciously shrinks the womb to hold the child in, not to let it go. Once the child is gone, she may be again in the same way, meaningless, empty, barren. This is unconscious to the mother, unconscious to the child. That's what creates the pain. The birth has to happen. It is a natural phenomenon. You cannot prevent it, but you can suffer it. You can enjoy it. That is your decision. Enjoyment will be a great experience to the mother, but that needs some consciousness, some awareness, some watchfulness of one's own unconscious ways, so that she can relax. And the unconscious cannot interfere in the process of relaxation. If she relaxes, there is every possibility the child will also relax. Because the child has learned in all these 9 months only one thing: just to be with the mother. If the mother is sad, the child is sad. Now there are ways to find out whether the child is sad or not. If the mother is angry, the child is angry. If the mother is in suffering, anguish, that anguish penetrates to the child too, because the child is not yet separate. Everything that vibrates the mother's being also vibrates the child. There is a synchronicity. So if the mother relaxes, of course we cannot talk to the child, teach to the child to let go. It is so difficult even to tell you to let go. It will be impossible to tell the child, but there is no need. My experience is, if the mother is ready, relaxed, allowing, the child simply falls in the tune. He relaxes, feeling that if mother is relaxed, not in words, I am not saying that he is thinking, I am saying feeling that the mother is relaxed, that means there is no fear. That means there is no death. You can also relax. But humanity will have to learn it. Even the birth of the child, to the mother, both appear something like a calamity. In creative processes, where something is going to take birth, yes, something is going to be destroyed. And I am all for that destruction, which lays the foundation of creativity. I don't call it destructive. I call it creative destruction. And many so-called of your destructive activities which are known as creative, I want to make it clear to you that they are not creative. Albert Einstein wrote a letter to President Roosevelt before Second World War came to an end. That letter proved to be the end of the Second World War. In that letter he proposed that he can make atomic bombs which can destroy Germany, Japan, and can make your victory absolutely certain. He was a man of good intentions. But what to do with men of good intentions? They have always been around, and the world goes on becoming worse and worse. The path to hell is paved with good intentions. Albert Einstein's also must be paved on that path. He was not conscious what he was doing. He was a Jew. He had escaped from Adolf Hitler's Germany. He has learned the whole secret of atomic energy in Adolf Hitler's scientific labs. He was going to make the atom bomb for Germany. That would have changed the whole course of history, who knows to what. We can't say certainly that it would have been worse seeing what has happened. Who knows, it may have been better. Because nothing great has happened. The world goes on with the same old stupidities, superstitions, uglinesses. Roosevelt immediately caught hold of Albert Einstein. Politicians, howsoever stupid, are very clever in detecting if from some place some destructive energy is available. About creativity, they are absolutely blind, color blind. Just as there are color blind people who can't see certain colors, politicians can't see creativity. But destruction, their eyes magnify it. There is some psychological background to it, because they are all people running after power. Will to power is their God. And certainly nothing gives you more feel of power than destruction. When you destroy something, you have a tremendous feeling of power. So once in a while, when you have the immense feeling of power and nothing to do, you start destroying things that you know perfectly well. You may destroy the chair, you may destroy the mirror, you may start throwing things in the room because you are so full of anger, which is a quality of power, a dimension of power. You know perfectly well that what you are doing is stupid. It is your own mirror that you are destroying. And tomorrow you will be going to the market to purchase and bothering about the price and haggling about the price. You know all that, but that is now far away in the background. Right now what you need is to feel power, that you are not impotent. And in the Second World War, Roosevelt, Churchill, Stalin were feeling really impotent. Everywhere there was defeat. Albert Einstein's letter is one of the most historical documents of the world. Roosevelt jumped upon it. Immediately, the work started. And although by the time the atomic bombs were ready, the war was finishing. This is something to be understood. The war was finishing. Germany was losing, Japan was losing. Just 15 days more and the war would have ended. But Roosevelt was in a hurry. Before it ends, the atom bomb has to be thrown. Just to see that how potent we are. And we proved you utterly impotent. It was not a question of war. Absolutely not. All the generals who were involved in the war were surprised that atom has to be used, because it was only a question of 2 weeks at the most. That is giving the longest period. Why so much hurry? If we have been fighting for 5 years, 2 weeks more, the war is going to end. Let it at least end in a human way, at least the way it has always been. Don't make something even more inhuman. But Roosevelt are the people who were in power and who had now the atom in their hands, could not wait. This was not the time to wait, because if they wait for 2 weeks more, then where they are going to try the atom bomb? Where they are going to see the glory of their power? And where they are going to show these enemies with whom they have been struggling? Once for all it has to be decided that who is powerful. and the atom bomb was thrown on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, in two cities in Japan, for absolutely no reason at all, no military reason at all. Reason was psychological, political. Albert Einstein had the greatest shock, because he was thinking he is creating the atomic energy in case the other party creates the energy, then we will be at a loss. So this is a defense measure. That's what he was thinking. This is a defense measure. In fact, just to have created it was enough for both Germany and Japan to realize that we are finished. There was no need to destroy those two beautiful cities. Within seconds, a city of 100,000 people simply evaporated. Just a moment before, there was so much life. I had been seeing a picture. One of my friends has sent few pictures of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. In one of the pictures, a schoolboy, maybe second grade, third grade, carrying his bag, is going on a staircase. On top is his study. At that moment, the atom fell on Hiroshima. The boy with his bag, books, got completely burnt and stuck into the wall. With the bag, with the books, his whole body burnt like coal tar, stuck, still one step moving towards the higher step. But suddenly everything stopped. And that very moment, more than 200,000 people in both the cities stopped. And these people were not war criminals, they were not soldiers, these were not in any way concerned with the war. They were civilians, children, women, old people, unborn children. What was their crime? For what they are being punished? Now, is there any idiot Hindu in the world who can say that these people were punished for their past lives' karmas? And how you will explain that 200,000 1,000 people committed exactly the same past karma in the past life, and they all gathered together in Hiroshima and Nagasaki at the same moment to suffer for their karma, for their evil act. Now this seems to be sheer nonsense. They are not suffering from their karmas. They are suffering from the karmas of the politicians. Albert Einstein wrote into his diary that if I had known that this is going to be the result of my creativity, of my whole life's work, then I would have never been a physicist. And if there is going to be another life for me, I pray to God, please make me a plumber than a physicist. Certainly what he did was a tremendous act of creativity, unparalleled in the whole history. He has come to the most secret thing in the objective world. In fact, half of the secret he has discovered. The remaining half is the living cell in the human body. This is the dead cell in things, the atom, that he has been able to split. And by splitting it, so much energy is created. By such a small atom, you cannot see it by your bare eyes, nor you can see it by any technical means. It is only inferred. It is just in the calculations. It is only a figure of speech. You cannot pinpoint where it is, what it is. Yes, all qualities have been described, descriptions have been given, but they are all inferences. But because they work, they are accepted to be true. Not that we have come face to face with the atom. But half of the mystery of the objective world is the greatest achievement of man, of creativity, of inventiveness, of genius. Certainly the other half is going to be far more difficult. But sooner or later, we will be able to know exactly in the same way the explosion of the living cell. That day will be of great rejoicing, because after that we can program man, his life, his mind, his genius, his age, his disease, his color of eyes, his color of hairs, his length, weight, everything in detail can be programmed. Once we can split the living cell, then any program can be put into it. But who knows whether that great act of creation will also be used in the same way. As Albert Einstein's atomic research has been used? Most probably. Because the people who have the power would like to program man according to their desire. And they will not miss such an opportunity. This is the opportunity they have been searching for millenniums. This is the great opportunity. Nothing can be greater than that. Once you can program man, then there is no revolution, no independence, no individuality, no problems, no strikes, nothing. Man then is a robot. Creativity can serve destruction. Then it has to be condemned. Destructivity can serve creation. Then it has to be praised. You ask me why I have been destroying. Because I want to create. And there is no other way. There has never been. And I have to destroy all that is wrong in order to create the right. Without destroying the wrong, the right cannot be even proposed. The wrong must disappear. Only then right can appear. But to you, that is not wrong. That's where the problem is. You say the great religious leaders, the great religious ideologies of the world. I will have to go into each in detail. As far as religion is concerned, there is no possibility of anybody being a leader. That term belongs to the ugly world of the politician. In religion, there is no led, no leader, no leading. In religion, there is sharing. And the sharing has such a totally different quality that you are not aware of it. A sharing in which both the parties are benefited, not at the loss of the other. Both the parties are benefited at the benefit of the other. You will have to understand my economics. In ordinary dealings, if two persons are doing a business, one is benefited at the loss of the other. There is no other way. So whosoever is clever, cunning, conniving, in short a con man, is benefited. The other may be given the impression that he is being benefited, but he is not. He is at a loss. But in my mathematics, in religious mathematics, things are totally different. Here, it is something like you light a candle from another lighted candle. Does the first lighted candle lose some light because you have now lighted your candle? Has it gained something at the loss of the first? Or vice versa? Has the first got something by convincing the other to get lighted? No, both are benefited. Because they are sharing. It is not a business deal. It is a love affair. In religion, there are no leaders. We have to drop the word leaders from the dictionary of religion completely. Because the whole idea creates the misery that you see all around. Somebody is a leader. Ayatollah, Ruhullah, Khomeini. He is a great religious leader. Such mad people. Are leaders. He has now under him 2,000 Mohammedan imams. Perhaps never before in the history of Mohammedanism there has been such a great leader with so many imams accepting him as their leader. He has almost come next to Prophet Muhammad. Just one step more. And he can push Prophet Muhammad, get lost. And this man is absolutely mad. If you think at his reasoning, anybody with just a little bit of intelligence. Just the other day I was listening to a news item. He has been, since he came to power, continuously slaughtering people. Corporal punishment is a simple thing. Every day on every crossroads you will find people hanging naked, beaten, blood flowing from their bodies. For any small thing, corporal punishment is immediately given. There is no question of any court deciding or anything. These are done by special courts. Which have been appointed by Khomeini. So they have a religious sanction. They are called courts of Islam. No advocates are needed for or against. Just the fanatics can bring anybody on suspicion that he seems to be sabotaging the revolution. The magistrate, who is nothing but a Mohammedan Maulvi, a priest, listens to it. He is really a party to it if this man is sabotaging your so-called religious revolution. Then a religious priest is a party. He cannot be the judge, but he is the judge. And according to the dictates of Islam, he gives him punishment, which can be, the minimum is corporal punishment. On the crossroads, naked, he has to be beaten till he falls unconscious. This is the minimum. And there are then many greats, cut his hands, cut his legs, destroy his eyes, and the final, cut his head. Now, all these kinds of punishments have been by 160 nations decided that they should not be given anywhere. And Iran is one of those nations who has signed this international pact under UN. When the question was raised to him that this goes against the pact, now this is how a madman functions. He said, if it goes against the pact, then the pact is not right. Then the pact is against Islam. Then we withdraw from the pact. Islam is no more part of the pact. We believe in Islam, and according to Islam, if a man is beaten and corporal punishment is given, it is not violent. The man needs it. His soul deserves it. It is a purification. If the man needs to be beheaded according to Islam, it is not murder. It is saving his soul. Now he continues to save people's soul, their bodies, and the whole world simply just watches. Nobody seems to have any guts. All these great politicians, presidents, prime ministers, kings, what all these fools go on doing in UNO, I cannot understand. They cannot stop a maniac destroying people, and they go on with great grandeur in UNO, making speeches. That's their whole business. Just Sila was saying to me, she met somebody on the plane who is in charge of Ethiopia, where millions of people are dying. Never before in history death has been so close to so many people and in such an ugly way. Because for 4 years there have been no rain. Before that, for 3 years there have been no rain. So now even a slight moisture from the air has disappeared. People are dying of thirst, people are dying of hunger, and millions of people. And the whole world simply goes on watching football matches, Olympic Games. The man was saying that he is approaching every government, and they all say yes. And no help comes at all. He said that he approaches to small governments, they say we will help, but first America. Because if America cannot afford, then you should not ask us. And the man said to Sila, what America has done, America cannot help Ethiopia because Ethiopian government has added socialism to its name. What socialism when people are simply dying? Whether they are socialist or communist, Hindu, Mohammedan, Christian, does not matter. A man is dying and you are bothering. Are you socialist? Can I give you water or not? I have heard of a Jew who had fallen on a road. It was too hot a day, and he was too tired and too miserly. So not getting a taxi, he was just trying to go by foot as far as possible. And he managed far enough, but finally he fell unconscious on the road. People gathered there. A Christian priest, seeing that the man is dying, whispered in his ear, "Remember God the Father, Son Jesus Christ, and Holy Ghost. The Jew opened his eyes towards the crowd and he said, "Take this fool away, I am dying and he is trying to tell me solve puzzles." God the Father, Holy Ghost, Jesus Christ, I am not in a position to solve puzzles right now. I am dying, can't you see? America will not give. The man said to Sila that we had purchased some arms and we had given the advance to America. But now America refuses either to pay the advance back or give the arms, because meanwhile the country has turned socialist. So any arrangements made before the socialist government are no more valid. That government is no more in existence. Perhaps that arrangement may have been made by King Haile Selassie, whom the socialists have thrown and taken over the government. And since these idiot socialists have taken over the government, Ethiopia has been in trouble. It has never been in trouble for 40 years while Haile Selassie ruled over it. This is strange. That man had a certain wisdom of a very strange kind. But one has to accept that man had a strange wisdom. UNO had sent a delegation to Ethiopia, because in Ethiopia this is a customary thing to drink water collected by the sides of the road in the rain. Now that is contaminated. And the doctors board touring Ethiopia found that 90% of diseases of Ethiopians can disappear if pure water can be made available, which is not very difficult. They told Haile Selassie that it is a very simple thing. Pure water has to be made available, and people have to be prevented and taught that they should not drink all kinds of water which has simply gathered in rains by the sides of the rivers, animals moving in them, drinking in them, children taking bath in them, people are drinking the water, and that is the 90% diseases will disappear. Haile Selassie listened silently. He said, "Your report is right, your advice is right, but I am not going to do it. Because if I save 90% people, then what I am going to do with the crowds, with the overcrowding? Then are you going to help me? Then who is going to help me? Let nature take its course. You will make us beggars before the world. At least right now we have our dignity. We are not beggars, we are not hungry, we are not starving. What one can do? People understand it. Disease comes, people die. death is natural. I understand you perfectly, he said. You don't carry the misunderstanding that I have not followed your idea. Your idea is 100% correct, but keep quiet and just go home. Those people reported in all the news media that this man is just mad. We are giving him scientific information. We worked 3 months touring Ethiopia, risking our life. We prepared this whole report, and that man said it is 100% correct, just take it home and rest and forget all about Ethiopia. Everybody thought that this Haile Selassie is mad. But even at that time, perhaps I may have been the only one person who spoke for him. And I said, I think he is right. You have to answer his questions. He is right. If 90% dying people are saved, then who is going to provide food and clothes and shelter for them? Ethiopia has no means. It is a poor country. It can support a small population. Then where these doctors are going to bring all the necessities? To save a person is not very difficult. But to keep on living for 70 years is very difficult. But the young people of Ethiopia thought that Haile Selassie is mad, that he has gone cynical, he is too old. And of course he has ruled from the First World War. He was perhaps the only ruler who remained ruling in both the wars. But he was not cynical. He was really a very sane man. When revolution took place, I can think only that a very sane man can do that. He came out of the palace and asked the revolutionaries, what do you want to do with me? Don't unnecessarily be destructive. Your problem is me. So what do you want to do with me? They said, you sit down in the car and come with us. He said, that's perfectly okay. He sat down in the car and went with them to the military camp. Never before in the history a revolution has happened so easily. But this was a sane man, really a sane man. He said, why unnecessarily destroy and kill? My people will kill your people will kill my people. Just take me. So every problem is solved. You take over. And since they have taken over, they have taken advices from all kinds of experts and all kinds of doctors, economists, finance experts, and the whole result is there. Ethiopia is dying. And now I say that they should remember what Haile Selassie had said, that you can save people, but then it is better to let the nature take its own course. Sometimes these doctors, finance experts look very creative. What they are saying is creative, to save life. And Haile Selassie looks very destructive. Let the nature take its course. But when I look closely at both, I think Haile Selassie is finally right. And these educated idiots don't know what they are doing. And that's what they have done all over the earth. Now the population is so much, by the end of this century, there will not be space enough to stand. Everything is going to be so crowded and so ugly and so dirty and so sick. And it has already started happening. This man told Sila that he asked Soviet Union to help. They say we are willing, but then we want entry. Our armies will be there. And that is certain. If Soviet Russia enters with his armies to help, America will be immediately ready to enter with his armies to help. But this is not help. This is worst kind of exploitation. They are dying and you are bargaining that let our armies enter and we can help. One does not know what help they will do. One thing is certain, that their armies will never come back out. These are the leaders. Religion has no leaders. And never use the word great with religious people. Religious people are very ordinary, very simple. Why this idea of great has become joined? Either those were fanatics who claimed themselves to be great, or their followers were feeling very competitive with other followers and had to go on magnifying the greatness of their leaders, their originators. But this is all politics, business. It has nothing to do with religion. It is surprising that not a single religion says that our religious originator was just an ordinary human being. It will be so pure, so clean, so respectable. On the contrary, they go on claiming stupid things which only make them laughing stocks. To me, there is no great religious leaders. And what ideologies you are talking about? What religion has to do with ideology? The word ideology consists of two. idea and logic. Now, religion has nothing to do with idea or with logic. Ideas are mental, psychological. Religion begins where ideas end. Religion starts where ideas and their weight drops. Religion has wings, but only if ideas are no more top heavy on it. No ideas and there is religion. And your head is full of ideas and there is no possibility of religion at all. Ideas simply mean you don't know and you are trying to figure it out what it is. A blind man thinking about light, that is an idea. A man who knows light has no idea about light. He simply knows light. A religious man knows truth, reality, existence as it is. He has no idea at all. So all ideologies are philosophies. They have nothing to do with religion. And logic is just a mind-created game. You can play with it as much as you want. It has no base in reality. And it never comes to any conclusion at all. Logic knows no conclusion. And religion is not interested with the whole process, the gymnastics of logic. Its interest is how to know that which is. It is not a question of logic. Logic is good in science. Love is good in religion. Both are polar opposites. Love knows nothing of logic. And logic has never been able to taste even a fragment of love. Their worlds are apart. Logic is basically mathematics, and religion is basically meditation. Mathematics is working through figures, finding out distances. How far away is the nearest star? 4 light years. When we say 4 light years, it does not look very far. But if you figure it out completely what 4 light years are, then you will see even the nearest star is so far away that there is no human possibility to reach it. In 1 second, light travels 186,000 miles. Make it 60 times more. That means in 1 minute, that many miles. Then make it 24 times, 60 times more than 1 hour worth mileage. Then make it 24 times more than 1 day's worth mileage. Then 30 days more than 1 month's. Then 12 times more than 1 year's mileage. Then 4 times more. Then you will have come to the figure which will run in hundreds of zeros. That many miles is the nearest star. And remember, that is the nearest star. There are stars and stars. At least 3 million have been counted upon. But that is only our limit of countation. Because we don't have any more finer instruments. Because as instruments become finer, we go on discovering more and more. With your bare eyes in the night, you cannot see more than 3,000 stars. Whatever you do, you can try counting, you may go mad. But the best counter up to now has been able to reach to 3,000. Even 3,000 seems to be too much. Just by near about 300 you will get confused that which one is left and which one is counted. How that man managed 3,000, I wonder whether anybody managed or this is just a myth. 3,000 I cannot manage. I cannot manage 30. I have tried and before 30 I said, it is pointless. It is not for me. 3 million stars, and that is not the end of the world. There is no end to the world. Millions and millions of stars. That is the world of mathematics. The world of distances. I want to emphasize that. The world of distances. Farther away you go, more you are in the grip of mathematics. Nearer you come, less and less mathematics is needed. The world of truth, the world of religion is within you. There is not even a single centimeter's distance. What mathematics is needed? There is no distance at all. You and your awareness are one. So there is no question of measuring. This word reminds me, this word is beautiful, measure. You may have never thought about it, that the English word matter and measure Both come from the same Sanskrit root. That's why in few languages it has become meter. In Sanskrit, matra means quantity. Matra in Hindi means quantity. Measure means quantitative, that which can be measured. Matter, that which can be measured. Mathematics is the science of measurement, is the science of matter. But it is not the science of consciousness, awareness. There is no matter, no quantity. Yes, there is a quantity. Quantity is something tangible, measurable. You can weigh it, you can divide it. No such quantity is there. There is quality, immeasurable, unweighable. But that quality has many quantities. Now you will have to understand the word quantity in a totally different way than it is used. Because when quality which is not a quantity has many quantities, for example, it has contentment, tremendous contentment. It has a feeling of arrival, very tangible. Touchable. It has an immense quantity of blissfulness, so overflowing that even if you want to prevent it, it cannot be prevented. It has to reach to millions of people. Whether you speak or not, it is going to reach. It has its own kind of vibration. It pulsates and vibrates. But all these are beyond the scope of logic, mathematics, science. The only word they fall all within is meditation. You have to be just silent, not going anywhere, not leading anybody, not being led by anybody. You have to be simply sitting doing nothing, not even ideation. No thinking. Because that is enough to take you far away, farther away than the stars. You have to be simply nobody. Because just a little bit idea who you are, and the politician comes in. The power trip begins. I am nobody. And that's the truth. It is not that I am saying it out of humbleness, because if you say I am nobody out of humbleness, you have missed the point. You have claimed humbleness. You have made yourself already somebody who is humble. And if somebody else says that my brother is more humble than you, then immediately you will see a great tension arising in you. Religious teachings have been telling people, be humble. I don't say it. Because if you become humble, you are befooling yourself. You are in danger. You will go on becoming more and more egoistic, and you will never feel the bitterness of ego because of this sugar coat of humbleness, which is never thicker than your skin, can be scratched very easily. When I say I am nobody, I simply mean it. For no special reason I am nobody. And that's how it happens to be. What can I do? I am nobody. I have looked into myself in every possible way. I don't find anything worth claiming. Just an absolute silence. An ordinariness, which is the very nature of existence. To be extraordinary is always to be in a tension. Have you thought about it? To be somebody special is to be always tense. But if you know that you are nobody, not that you are trying to be nobody, because that means you are trying to become somebody special, called nobody. Just these simple mistakes may lead you astray. Just finding that I am nobody. And that's how existence is. What is a marigold flower? What is a rose? They are all nobodies. and we belong to them. Once this settles in you, the idea of nobodiness, silence, it starts descending on you. There is no idea, no picture, no Jesus Christ, no Krishna, no Buddha. You are utterly empty. And in this emptiness is the light. In this emptiness is enlightenment. I am not destroying anybody. I am simply destroying all the obstructions in your mind. When I say something against Jesus or Buddha or Mahavira, do you think I am saying anything against Jesus, Buddha or Mahavira? Then you misunderstand me. When I say something against Jesus, I am hammering the Jesus within you. And I have to force that Jesus out of you. Jesus used to dispossess people of evil spirits. My work is totally different. I am trying to dispossess you of good spirits. Jesus, Buddha, Mahavira, Muhammad. And evil spirits are very easy. Because when Jesus used to dispossess people, those evil spirits will come out so easily in the forms of pigs and run away. I have been thinking in what kind good spirits will come out and run away. Pigs does not look right. No. Even I will not agree about it. That Jesus, Confucius, running like pigs out of me. No, that is not right. But I have not been yet able to find. I think they will not take any form, they will simply run without taking any form. And it is not a question of their running. It is a question of your dispossessing them. They are not possessing you. You are possessing them. Just relax your hands and let them go. I am not against anybody and I am not destroying anybody. Certainly I am destroying much in you because I know if all these hindrances are destroyed, then you will assert on your own in your full glory. And that glory I call godliness.